Welcome to another Photography Locked Down Creative Challenge. This is where you can stretch your creative muscle, give it a good old workout, because cameras don't take pictures, you take pictures, and how creative you are in that picture taking process, that says how long someone's going to spend looking at your picture, how long they're going to be engaged with it. If you would like to experiment and work out with your creativity, click the little thing popping out up here right now. Come find out all about it. It's a great group of people really rocking it. So what are we going to be looking at this time? Eat, drink and be merry. That is our theme, and the hashtag you need to use when you upload images is appearing on screen right now. What does that mean? You can interpret the theme any old way you like. What we're looking for here is great photography, great creative thinking and execution through the camera. We're going to look at a couple of ideas in a moment, and I'm going to put up a little link to something which may help you, because yeah, food photography, that's the obvious thing, but by being creative you don't necessarily go with the obvious route. So let's have a look at some ideas. That's the obvious, isn't it? Bit of food photography, shallow depth of field, nice light. You've got to work with nice light. If you want to do food photography, do food photography. It's just a loose theme. Eat, drink and be merry. But whatever you do, you need to be careful with it, you know. Think about what you're doing. What is the point of this picture? Where are we looking? We're looking at the food, aren't we? Make sure you've got some great light, you know, shallow depth of field. Make sure the colours work. Don't make it too complicated. Very different type of a food shot, but nonetheless, we're still looking at food, aren't we? Some cheeses, but make sure that the light works. We're looking for nice, clean, easy to understand pictures. Very different take on food. Repeating patterns work well, but look at the light. We've got highlight and shade. The light is coming in from below, isn't it? You see, and it's causing the shape, the texture on these grilled fish. Much more Western approach, you know. You could bring in something more creative. You could not only do food photography, but how about bringing in a little bit of chefiness? How about bringing in a bit of movement, you know, just to make it a little bit more interesting, you know. And the old chef does his swoopy thing with the spoon. Et voila. Little link popping out up here right now. I'm pretty sure this shot is in this video for you to go and have a look at, so that it may help you with this. Cooking on an industrial scale, it's just a different way of looking at it. Okay, if you live in the UK or the Western world, you're unlikely to see cooking like this. This was in Burma, I think it was in Mandalay, in a monastery kitchen where they are cooking with shovels. But again, look, think about it, little bit of movement going on here. We're seeing an ingredient go into the serving bucket in this case, but look, we've got that little bit of movement to say it's going in there. Eating, drinking, be merry. What about the produce, you know, a photograph on a market, just of the produce that goes into it. How about growing the produce? What about a shot of the crops, either in the field or being harvested? At the end of the day, we're looking for great photography, but most of all, great thinking in ways in which you can interpret it and execute it. This was at a Hohal Buddhist home where they gave us a wonderful meal. They believe in feeding strangers for free. You can pay for it if you want, and if you pay more than it's worth, then it goes to feeding poor people. They're a wonderful, wonderful thing in Vietnam. But again, it was just noticing what the light was doing. There was light coming in from above, and it just highlighted this wonderful, wonderful food which they had given us. So, you know, think about how to shoot it, ways to shoot it, as opposed to the obvious. Try and make it eye-catching. Look for humour if you can. This is at the Sridigong Pagoda. Okay, you may not be able to go there, but, you know, you can find things that are humorous. But, you know, the women who go around keeping the place spotlessly clean, or the little statues, they give them a drink as they go round. Eat, drink and be merry. It could just be about lighting the barbecue, you know, on the campsite, and just finding an interesting way to photograph it. It could be something about where we eat. Okay, this one's a little cafe in Vietnam. You may not be able to go there, but This is a restaurant in the street very close to where I live, but it still makes an interesting sort of a shot. It's still on the theme. It's about your interpretation and photography of that theme. You don't have to see food, you don't have to see eat, drink and be merry to still convey the idea of it, as witnessed there. Another way you could interpret the theme, think of a menu, think of how these things work. So we're at a wedding in this case. Loads of eat, drink and be merry has been going on here, hasn't it? You know, so we've got a this is quite a complex shot. This is intentional camera movement combined with a slow shutter speed and a rear curtain sync flash, so that we get the lines, we get a little bit of movement blur, but the flash freezes the action and choosing a decisive moment. That's a complex one, but it works. So look, there's loads of ways you can do this. We're looking at use of depth of field. You know, in this case, a similar thing going on here, because what's the important part? It's the name of the restaurant. Here, depth of field wants to go a little bit further because we're going to stop at these two guys and we still want to read coffee takeaway. We know we're in a cafe. Focal length, depth of field, exposure. These are all the things you need to be working with. In this case, you know, we've got quite a bright bit of light here. What the camera meter tells you is the exposure may not be. Use this thing. Use your first building block of photography, your brilliant brain, in thinking up how to use your camera. If you need any help with any of these things, go take a look at my Ultimate Beginners course. Click the little thing up here. Remember, it's always there. Go have a look at it. It'll tell you everything you need to know. When you upload your images, please use the hashtag that has been on screen. The dates, everything, the deadlines are on screen right now so that you know when you have to have it done by. And don't use archived images, please. Make sure you shoot for this challenge. Otherwise, you're not getting a workout, are you? You're just going to the hard drive and going, that might go in there. It's not about winning the challenge. It's about doing the exercise. It's not about seeing if you can run faster than the person on the other running machine. It's about getting your own workout. It is about you, not someone else. So that's how it is. Photography Lockdown Challenges are supported by small donations made on a regular basis. If you find this to be of value, you've been around for a while, then please consider making us a small donation of around about the cost of a takeaway coffee a month. If enough people do that, we can keep this free. Free, you know what I mean. You can dip in and out. If you're having a hard time, you can dip out. Come back when you've got a couple of quid. I don't want to turn this into a membership if I can possibly help it. Be well, guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for our live judging and feedback. Take care. Go rock it.